Good morning, true crime friends. Here we are, back together again, bright and early on a Monday morning. Super early, not bright out. Look, still dark outside. The doggies woke me up super early this morning, and I was like, what is happening? But it turns out it was time to get up-ish. If by time to get up, they mean 3:35 in the morning. Oh, yes. It is very, very early, but that's okay. That gives me time to get a couple things done before I go to the gym and then I go to work because it's a Monday morning. Okay, so look. First of all, before I forget, because you know I always forget, like and subscribe. I like you. If you like me, please hit the subscribe button down below. No, hit the like button down below, but also hit the subscribe button so you can get more of this delightful content. So listen. The Melly trial is over for now. Now, I promised I was not going to talk about it again because that case, oh, Lord, it raised my blood pressure. Those fans of Mr. Melly, they're not that nice. But me and you, we are very nice people. Or we just sit here and have a little chitty chat every morning about all the things that are happening in true crime. So after having some like nice, relaxing, blood pressure lowering activities all weekend, including my my stress drops. My doctor prescribed these like little stress drops that are vitamins or whatever, and I really, really like them. I did not have too many. I don't want to OD on stress drops, and then I'm just like laid out someplace, but they worked and they were good. Anyway. So this is what happens next in the Melly case. The case was declared a mistrial on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, I guess, when the jury decided they could not reach a verdict. Shortly after that, Melly's mother came out and was like, the jury found 9-3 that my son was innocent. Ma'am, that did not happen. Now listen. I know that you want that to have happened. It did not happen. The only thing I can surmise, number one, she just made that up. Number two, there was reports from the courtroom that the jury was so divided that like some people would sit on one side, like during deliberations when they would come in for questions and read back. There were a couple of people who would sit together. Then there was like an empty chair and then other people would sit together. So maybe that's where she got the 9-3 split. Something tells me that 9-3 split was 9 for convict and 3 for send him home or whatever, or not proven. Child, wasn't nobody saying your son was innocent. We were there. We sat through the trial. Now, maybe those 3 people, I could see that. Maybe they disagreed. Or maybe they just thought, with the death penalty on the line, based on this evidence, it's not direct evidence, they could make a reasonable case. Now, I could not make a reasonable case under which he did not do this, but maybe they could make a reasonable case under which he is not guilty. Okay, fine. That's a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of everything else, a lot of time to be away from your regular life, only to come back with like, no. So the case will be retried. In my opinion, am I a lawyer? No, absolutely not. I am a delightful gossip. But in my opinion, the case will be retried. Also, in my opinion, he's not going home on bail. Just my feeling, because A, it's a double homicide. B, yes, he's been in jail for a very long time, but I get the feeling he's going to have to get used to that. But even if he's not used to it yet, C, there's a lot of eyes on this case. And from what I understand, judges are elected in Florida. Now, who wants to be the judge who's like, yeah, it was a double homicide where for no good reason he unalived his 2 BFFs. Let's just send him back out into the community. That seems like a great idea. Is he likely to commit more crimes? No, sure. I'm sure he's not. Based on the company that he keeps and the comments that I see on mine and other people's social media, lock him up for the safety of the rest of the community until this case is decided. That is just a personal opinion. I'm not a judge. I don't live in Florida. So Florida, do what y'all gonna do. And I'm gonna sit here and watch. And then I'm just gonna talk about it because that's all I can do. So he's gonna be tried again. I wonder though, will they amend the charges? Now, people in Melly's camp are acting like this is some great victory. It's not. They just kicked the can down the road. Bortland is going to trial in a few months. Melly will likely be tried unless he takes a plea. With the death penalty on the line, the only plea he could take would include LWOP, like life without the possibility of parole. Something tells me he's not going to go for that. Also, his defense attorneys, they making bank. I heard a lawyer, I think it was the lawyer Peter Tragos. I think I heard him say that when lawyers go to court, like you get a trial fee. And so it could be anywhere from $3,000 a day to $10,000 a day for each lawyer. That's a lot of cash because they're away from their other cases. They're away from their other trials. Like they could be making other money doing other things. And so to make up for that, they have to charge a larger fee for days that they're in court. Wow. On a long trial like this, it really becomes cost prohibitive. And listen, it's not all about the money, but the public defender, they're going to get their money one way or the other because the taxpayers are paying for them. So this case could take 300 years and they still going to show up. But the private attorneys, expensive. So note to self, if you're going to go to trial, make sure it's a short trial if you're paying for it out of pocket. Because, can you get a coupon? Can you clip a coupon? Can you get like a Groupon, some kind of code and cost reduction? Okay, whatever. If he's rich, all that money that he's making for his albums and for his whatever, all going to pay for this case. Good luck with your project. Okay, so what's next? What's next is Miss Taylor Schabusiness. Now, listen, this trial promises to be delightful despite the fact that it is incredibly gruesome. So look, so that we are clear, there's a lot of words that could be used to describe this case that are not allowed on the nice social media. And if you say them, then you have to say it's an adults only channel. And then that like messes up your little algorithm or whatever. And so clever YouTubers who are not me and other people from social media have come up with all of these words to help us describe things that would get us demonetized or demoted or slapped on the hand or kicked off the whole platform. I don't know what happens if you do the bad things, but there's a whole bunch of words that get used to describe this case that we have to come up with other words for. So this is your glossary. Okay. Unalive is, that's self-evident. You are no longer alive and you can unalive yourself, and the word that you use to unalive yourself gets you in trouble. The word that you use to unalive other people, I don't think gets you in trouble. But isn't the word unalive so delightful and not as triggering? Maybe for some people. I don't know. Okay, so that's unalive. Also in our glossary, delete, yeet, eliminated, erased, put on a t-shirt. I heard that one this weekend because sometimes when somebody is unalived and you go to their funeral service, there's like people wear t-shirts with them on it. Like, oh, this is, my cousin Pookie who played on the train tracks when he was high one day, whatever. And so put on a t-shirt is another synonym for unalive, that word. So that's unalive. This is somebody in my comments, somebody was like, this is like $25,000 pyramid. Does that show my age? But yes, it really, really is. This woman, Miss Schabusiness, she got high on a particular narcotic. I believe it was methane. I don't know if you can say that word or not, child. I don't know what you could say. So she was enjoying some, so in lieu of methane, when cows pass gas, it creates methane. But she was smoking a substance that begins with the beginning of that word. So we can just call that cow farts, right? So Miss Schabusiness was smoking cow farts, and she was very, very high. And so she unalived her boyfriend, and then she disassembled him into several pieces. And I don't know what the thinking was behind her disassembly of this young man, but she went up to the kitchen. He was at his mama's house. They was in the basement. How you gonna? It is rude to have an intimate encounter. Another word we trying to enjoy, the S*X word. How do you have an intimate encounter at your mama's house? Rude. And then you unalive somebody at their mama's house? Also rude. And then you disassemble them with your mama's knife? That's her knife. How she gonna cut bread now when you have cut up her son? Child? It's just wrong. Also, manners. Do we not teach our children manners anymore? But I guess the cow farts make your brain do crazy things. So anyway, After she disassembled this young man, apparently she left a mess. Now, if you disassembling people, something tells me you're not like cleaning as you go. You know, when I cook, I don't do this, but I was taught to do this, like clean as you go. You use the pan, you wash it, you leave it there in the sink, and then you go and make the rest of the dinner or whatever. She did not clean as she went. So she left a mess everywhere. But then she looked around and she was like, look at all these delightful parts and pieces. I don't want to leave a mess, and so I'm going to take these with me. And so she started to pack him up. I guess for ease of transportation, it was good that she disassembled him? Question mark? Unclear. So she put him in a crock pot box. How big was the crock pot? Because my crock pot is not that big. Okay, whatever. She put him in a crock pot box and various other like totes and containers. Did she use reusable bags? Because that would be recycling. And I am pro recycling. And that's a word that you could say here on the social media without getting into any trouble. But I don't know. And sometimes those bags can leak. It depends what kind of bag you have because plastic is bad for the turtles. I don't know. But her being out here in the streets is bad for humans. So we really have to balance interests. I would not be mad if she used a plastic bag because at least that's less messy. Anyway, ultimately she left his head and his eggplant in a bucket at the bottom of the stairs with a towel over it. So his mother was like, Sam, I don't know his name, I'm just making that up. Sam, honey, my bread knife is missing. Honey, do you have company? Why is there this mess? It looks like somebody was unalived down here. Oh, wait, there's a bucket here at the bottom of the stairs. Whatever could be in there. And so she takes off the top of the bucket and she's like, ah! I imagine she ran screaming. That's not what they said. That's what I'm saying happened. She's like, ah! Hello, 911. My son, who was super into the cow farts, possibly unalived and dismembered himself. Disassembled himself. You have to come, please help. So the cops come, and the mother, of course, was hysterical. I'm sure they gave her some smelling salts and like fanned her and put cold washcloths on her head. I don't know what they did, but I'm sure the paramedics were involved. Although really, they kind of weren't needed. By the time you get disassembled like that, you don't need the Anyway, you might need, what's that cleanup crew, Service Pro? Oh, you gonna need Service Pro. They come in, they clean everything and they disinfect it. Me personally, I would need to move because now my house is defiled. Who is buying that house aside from like a true crime fan? Somebody's like, I got the Schabusiness house. You know, the house where Taylor disassembled the gentleman after she was on the cow farts. I bought that house. There's not going to be a premium for that. We're not going to mark that house. It's destroying property values. Oh, I would be mad at my property. If that happened on my block, if that happened in my town, I would be so mad. The property values, people, common sense. Anyway, so the mama calls the cops and they were like, was he here with anybody tonight? And the mother was like, wait. He was here with that charming young woman. What was her name? Taylor Schabusiness. So the cops were like, oh, well, that is an unusual last name. How hard could it be to find her? Is there an entire Schabusiness section? There is a business section, but probably not a Schabusiness section. So they went to the yellow pages or the white pages. Do they even still make those? Anyway, so they go and they look her up and they're like, hey, Taylor girl, what you doing? Really? Do you have any more cow farts? Really? Oh, I'm going to come by, pick some up. Okay, I'm going to be there soon. Bye, click. I don't think that's what the cops said, but that's what happened in my mind. So Officer Friendly and them rode up on her house, and they were like, hey, Taylor. Hey, girl, listen. Ooh, under your fingernails is kind of dirty. What you been doing? You been cutting up? I don't understand. Why your fingernails are, girl, you need a manicure. And she was like, yeah, And they said, can we look in your truck? And she's crazy. So she said, yeah, of course. I'm sure you can. So they looked in her truck and they found the box with the crock pot box with the parts and pieces. And they were like, okay, so we're going to give you these nice bracelets and send you going off to the nervous hospital with the very padded rooms. And in your case, we're going to get you some nice medications to help you because you are clearly having some cognitive difficulties. So they were like, oh, by the way, Taylor, you left some parts behind. You left behind his eggplant and his cranium. I guess you could say head. As long as you're not, okay, whatever. You left behind the top of his head and his eggplant in a bucket at the bottom of the stairs. And she said, and I quote, I'm not making this up, this is what the girl said, "I can't believe I left the head." Taylor, ma'am, that's not how that was supposed to go. Just so you know, you should have left him in one piece. So that would have been, and fully alive. Like, that is what a good house guest does. But clearly, you are not a very good house guest, starting with the fact that you were enjoying some cow farts in his mama's house, also the dismemberment, but you have many, many difficulties. And so she gets arrested and she's sitting over there in the prison, and they were like, well, obviously she's criminally insane. And then some different people came in and they examined her, and some said she was faking and some said she was really insane. Now listen, this is what I personally believe based on what I have seen on the internet. And take it for what it's worth, because it is just some stuff that I have seen on the internet. Number one, Miss Schabusiness has a very troubled history. She also has documentable mental health issues. Most people with mental health issues, yours truly included, do not murder people. They just don't. We just don't. You don't. I have only ever accidentally unalived a squirrel, and I believed I have shared that story. It was very traumatic for me. I did not do it personally. My car did it. Well, actually, I think that that squirrel was clearly very depressed when it ran out in front of my car, because what did it think was going to happen? Squirrel, you weigh maybe a pound, like not even enough to make a hamburger or whatever, a squirrel burger, and my car weighs several thousand pounds. And here you are with a cute flicking tail running out in front of it. I think you was having a bad day. Did you have a fight with your wife or something? And now you're underneath my tires. It was horrific. I could not drive down that street for months because, oh my goodness, I am not one who unalives people. Now, if you are a mouse and you have the nerve to come to my house, you are getting all the poison, all of it, every single last bit of it. And I hope to unalive you, your entire family, your brothers, your sisters, your mama, your auntie, everybody. Also, same is true if you are a wasp. All other living creatures, I'm going to leave you alone. But for mice and wasps who might be watching this channel, y'all better govern yourselves accordingly, because you're not going to stay up in here. That I know for sure. And when your corpse winds up on the floor, I'm going to have my husband pick you up, because I'm terrified. But also, I don't want to see that. I'm a delicate flower. So anyway, Lord, do I go off. Anyway, so Miss Taylor got locked up. They thought she was faking, but she does have legitimate mental illness made worse by her use of illicit substances. So she is a longtime abuse survivor and narcotics enthusiast, and she, generally speaking, refuses to take her medications to help settle down all the little crazies that happen in her brain. And that's not good. So when she is unmedicated, she tends to be a little out there. And then not so long ago, she was in court and things didn't go the way she wanted. And so I don't remember if she hit her lawyer, threw herself at her lawyer. She violently, can you say assault, child? I don't know. She violently peppered her lawyer, and they had to like hold her down. Oh, you watch the video. And at the day that it happened, I knew the details more clearly. But she peppered her lawyer, and it was all over the news. But I suspect that was just a way to get attention. Now, would that have been the way I got attention? No. Is that the way she chose? So she going to court now. And it's not like a who done it. It's a why she done it. But I think we know that too. And the big argument in this case is to what degree her mental incapacity played a part in this. But when she wants to, she's able to sit through long court hearings, understand complex concepts, and aid her lawyer. I suspect that she's going to go over there to the nice jail where nobody going to be safe. Like, really, the guards, the other inmates, whatever. People who have done terrible, terrible crimes are like, oh, not Taylor. Please don't. Oh, dear Lord, don't let Taylor come over in here. But maybe she'll blend and maybe she'll make friends. There are some people in jail who are much like Miss Schabusiness, have mental defects, but a lot of them are even like, oh, no. We don't want her over here. So I don't know how they're going to keep her safe. I don't know how they're going to keep the other people safe. I don't know what's going to happen. Yet another reason that I do not go to jail. But you know where I'm going to go? I'm going to go to work today where I have right in my little ear my BFF from over the interwebs, Miss Brandy Churchwell. Oh, yes, I'm a 13th juror child. I show up in there and I make my little comments and then I take my earphone out and I'm doing work and everybody thinks I'm working all day. I mean, I am working all day. I am buried at work these days, which I love. It's really, really, I love my job. Anyway, so I'm super busy at work. So half the time I don't know what's going on the 13th year. And then I drop back in, I'm like, wait, what I missed? And then people have to explain the last 4 hours to me because, you know, I'm popular. People keep wanting to talk to me on the phone and stuff. I prefer it that I could just sit there and do what I do and be charming and delightful and get my work done. But sometimes they want to have Zoom calls, which really interferes with my court watching activities. But since I get paid to do my job and I do not get paid for my court watching activities, I just have to balance it out and catch Miss Brandy on the replay. So anyway, every day I think I do a commercial for Miss Brandy. Hey, Brandy girl, I'm going to see you this afternoon. I'm going to see you in a little while. I saw the sunset pictures that you posted there in Florida. Florida is scary to me. Also, anything outside of I like Miami. I like the suburbs of Miami, but just like the immediate area, I like Fort Myers and Naples. The rest of the state, no thank you. But where Brandy lives seems delightful. So I prefer the Gulf side. I want to retire to Fort Myers someday. But my son tells me that due to climate change, I'm not allowed to retire there. So we'll have to see. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I need to take my behind to the gym, but I have many, many hours this morning because these doggone dogs woke me up very early. Go back to sleep. If you're watching this at 4 in the morning or whatever time it is, go back to sleep. Get some rest. Me, I'm going to go tidy up the kitchen a little bit and then take my behind to the gym. You have a great, safe day. Bye.